Hey now. Happy Wednesday and welcome back to Soul Fulfilling Songs and Conversations. It's got a new feel to it. It's called We Got It Up. This evening, joining me on Soul Fulfilling Songs and Conversations is Keith Rice. BabyMan in the house. Yes. I mean, it's the first live like this. We've had Georgia here with me before, but this is, I think, might be even better in terms of the sound and everything. So, Jamone, am I ready to go? Jamone said, yes, you are. I will meet you with my heart to heart. Let us meet again, and then may we become more of who we are, more of who we are. I will touch you with my soul to soul. Let us touch again, and then may we behold more of who we are, more of who we are. I will meet you silently, breath to breath. Let us breathe as one, and then may we become more of who we are, more of who we are. Come on, Keith. We can even take a moment to be silent after a song. I remember back in the hot and cool days, you know, folks would be clapping or the blender would go up.
Right.
The blender would come on. And as a matter of fact, I did quite a few Wednesday night hot and cools with Keith. You used to play with me on Wednesday night sometime. Yeah. Well, welcome to Soul Fulfilling Live.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
In the room. And come on into the room. It's a little bit different. I can't call your names right now because I don't have my computer up. But Jamon can say who's in the room in just a moment. He's doing his thing back there. But folks are coming into the room. Hopefully you found it without the countdown. We're doing it differently this week. We'll go back next week to the old format. But this week we're live in the B Hood right here at Big Blue with Keith Rice in the room. So so Keith we've been talking about him, about his life, and I hope that just meeting the musicians, meeting the singers, meeting the different people that we have on, that people will hear how you put it together and maybe inspired by something.
Yeah.
You know, because I think that's the way it happens.
Definitely.
You know?
Especially, within the realm that we work in, having such, being able to have access to the kind of people that we do, it's definitely a blessing.
I'm going to come over here so that maybe I can, okay, I guess the angle is good on your face. Because I can see you, but I want to make sure that they can see your face. You know?
Working on it.
Yeah, they can. He said, Jamon's like, we got it.
We're going to make it happen.
Yeah, you got it. So we were talking about a path, of what one decides to matriculate in, how we decide what we're going to do. Like this time in a lot of people's lives across the board, not just older people my age and people a little behind me and people a little behind, Jamon's age, younger people your age, teenagers coming up. The question is, who am I? What did I come to do?
Right, absolutely.
And I just want you to talk about your life and tell us something about your journey of how you got to where you presently are.
Well, most of all, I am very grateful for the fact that I have, up until this point, or for however many years I've been doing music, I'm very grateful that I have a little piece of knowing what I'm here to do, or what I believe I'm here to do. Because I feel like that, being in the knowing of that is what carries a lot of people on to, continue to wake up tomorrow and have this excitement about, okay, what am I accomplishing today, or how can I help someone else accomplish something? So, but I was raised in a very musical environment, so
Can you
face that way?
Can you turn them up in my monitor when you get a chance, Jamon? Because I can't hear it too well.
How close is you to my face?
You look good, baby.
Having being raised in a musical environment, and not even being completely aware of how much of an influence it was having on me, that's a big reason of why I am where I am today. Being able to transcend the things that I've learned into the doors that I walk through today, and being able to remember that knowledge that was instilled in me from older people that were playing, and being able to figure out how I can make those pinpoints that I feel are important to me, how can I make them still be relevant today for people coming up younger than me that don't have the same experience or don't get the chance to be able to see Earth, Wind, and Fire play, or see the Temptations or XYZ or anybody, and have that solid, just that solid understanding of where the things that you were, where the things came from that you're doing, no matter what creative or any kind of industry that you're in, just being in the know with all of where these things came from.
That something came before.
Absolutely.
Before the digital phenomena of not even using a keyboard.
Exactly. Like, and everything being 6 layers removed from where they originally came from. Like, the songs that are sampled today, they're sampling a sample of a sample of a sample. And, if you've just been just finding music on your own in the past however many years, you might not be aware of these things and know that there's a whole history prior to that that still plays a big part of what's going on today. Yeah.
You know, I have a friend. Thank you. I have a friend. Her name is Brandy, and Brandy has Brandy. Your name is skipping me right now. I've known Brandy for a long time, but Brandy has a group called an organization, a nonprofit called New School Sings Old School.
Okay.
And what she does is she teaches the children the songs from the past, the R&B songs, the classics, and they learn the songs and they perform the songs. And she has different artists like a Smokey Robinson or different people who, because we're in California, so California is rich with all kinds of talent and all kinds of people who have done it too. You know, but even if we weren't in California, there's always a musician somewhere who's playing a guitar or somebody who's playing a drum, sometimes they're at the church doing it, but somebody who is inspiring some other young person with their sound, you know, with what they're doing. And you know, because that's the way I got inspired.
It's necessary, and especially entering a time where we're all concerned about artificial intelligence and computers in general and all these other things possibly being able to take the place of, you know, this very human thing that we do. Yeah, it becomes more important, and you know, you pay attention to like the education systems. You know, some kids aren't even, you know, the requirement to come in contact with the instrument isn't there, and things like that.
Well, you know, when we were talking earlier about when you went to college for a little while, BabyMan went to college.
For a small stint.
So first, okay, this is a musician rambling conversation. First of all, where were you born?
I was born in Lancaster, California.
I thought you were born in Detroit.
I was raised in Detroit.
Oh, you were raised in Detroit.
I was from 9 months. I left here at 9 months.
Oh yeah, you were raised you from Detroit. Yeah, you like my son Stephen. He's from LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, he was 7 months when we came here.
Oh, okay.
But he came from New York. But you came from Lancaster, but you were raised in Detroit. And then you matriculated through high school in Detroit as well?
No, it was a little earlier than that, middle school. After, when I was starting middle school, there was an agreement that I would come and be raised by my father. So, yeah, and his family. So
you would go back and forth?
Yeah.
That family in Detroit, family here? Yeah. And then you started playing guitar? What age?
7.
At 7?
Yeah.
Was it a requirement, or did you want to play?
So I guess my father put a guitar in my hands at 3 just to see what would happen.
At 3?
Yeah, and I guess I was like, my fingers were functioning like they knew what they were supposed to do.
At 3 years old.
Yeah, so I guess when I hit 7. At 7, I began to go on my own journey of understanding music and like being curious about things. So then at that point, I guess he was like, "All right, well, play the guitar." And yeah, it was a requirement. It wasn't something I wanted to do.
Yeah, and you had to do it.
Yeah, I did.
When I say you had to do it, like
they got teachers for me, so I had to.
Yeah, you had to honor it.
Yeah.
But did you ever look at the teacher after a while? Well, you were just 7 years old, so you're gonna do it. And plus, you probably enjoyed it, you know. But at some point, were you tired of the lessons?
Oh my God! Yeah,
after how many years?
So I started with guitar. I began taking. My father played as well, and I watched Al as well. So.
Al McKay, he's talking about. And Al McKay was guitarist and songwriter and groove maker with Earth, Wind, and Fire. And
I got my first teacher. It was at a small school in North Hollywood called Musonia. The teacher, at that time, the person running it was the mother of guitar player Randy Rhoads, who played for Ozzy Osbourne. And they gave drum lessons, guitar lessons, and some other piano and some other instruments. So after guitar, I wanted to play jazz, and I wanted to try to play guitar in jazz band when I went to middle school, and they weren't having it, so they were like, no. So they made me get. I played upright bass for about through middle school and high school for a bit. So
Wow.
about maybe 5 years.
Keep going. We're finding out so much about Keith Rice. Okay.
So then that was another lesson tacked on. So at that point, I started taking piano and drums at the school I was taking guitar at, and I started playing basketball, and I got a point where I was tired of all of it and didn't want to do it. But then at some point in high school, like I started getting curious into computers and how people were making music with computers, and then it just all started coming back. And from that point, I've just been musiced out.
When did you become a producer? When did you start putting the sounds together for yourself?
And that occurred in around the 10th grade. I began, I started making music on my own, but then it would branch into other things, like the high school dance team would need help with mixes or things like that. Or I had friends who were involved with other competition things like the Olympics, or for people on their way to the Olympics within high school programs and create music for them and things like that. So it started.
Yeah, you were functional.
Yeah,
within the community that you were in.
Oh, that's the only way it works.
Oh, you hear that? It's got to be functional.
No, it has to be communal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Functional in the community, like serving the community. Yeah, that was me in my childhood too.
You're still doing it now.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm doing now is what I did when I was a kid too. I didn't have a piano. I wanted one really bad, But the way the universe worked, the way my life worked, was like, no, just the opposite. It was like, we don't want. It was my parents, my mom, my father. None of them ever said these words. We don't want you to have an instrument. They never said that, but there was no instrument.
Right.
So except my voice and my ears and my love for it, because I believe that we're born with our gifts.
So when did the piano come into play?
When I was 21. But I used to, but there were pianos all the time. Like there was pianos at school that I could play around on, pianos at the church I would play around.
Right.
And those were my pianos. It's like we had piano in my house for 3 months when a lady got evicted. And we had her piano for a little while. My mother started a choir because my mother played piano.
Okay.
And she would play, she'd teach gospel songs and we'd sing them together and have parts. And then the lady came and got a piano, and we were all like so sad.
My God.
The lady got back on her feet and took the piano back. We were going, But there was, but I was in the choir. It wasn't like I was shedding tears about not having the instrument, but I always wanted a piano really bad. So when I got one, all of this incredible yearning became a deep soul learning, and I was just exploring, writing songs. I was writing songs, writing sound, I was just playing and just finding stuff.
Yeah, that's all.
Writing songs.
I'm curious about how that looked like. Okay, I hear these things and I have to make them happen.
And I could hear it. I could make them happen in my head. I could play to my liking.
Right.
Like when I see some piano players, they can go, like a Rashid, Ben Dowling, all of them, they have colors. They're interested in colors. I was never interested in that. I was interested in the bass harmony.
Yeah.
That's what I was interested in, just the chords and what supported the song. And the melody on top of that. And even beyond all of that, the words that expressed my heart. And that was supposed to be my journey.
Right.
But when I first started writing, it wasn't for the community except my friends, a very, very small group of people, but it was a very powerful group of people. Many of them became very professional. B.B. Moore Campbell was in my group.
Okay.
They were exquisite in their capacities, but everybody was young. We were young tigers, and we would all go our journeys. She'd become a really great novelist, and I would become whoever it is I'm becoming, and everybody else was doing their thing in service, in their own way to the world, Mine became strongly in service to God, which took me to the world.
Yeah.
When I got in alignment with that,
Mm-hmm.
then it was all over. So let's do something.
Okay.
And then we'll talk some more about Keith's business and find out how he put the world together. Because he's still younger than most musicians that I know. And I believe that the people who hear you play and the people who are meeting you now would be interested in your journey and the way you stay inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know there are things that you want to see happen for yourself. And, you know, and, I mean, it's just things that we kind of adapt along the way. Sometimes things our parents want to see us do, a certain level of what they consider success or wherewithal and knowing how to take care of oneself. It's like, how do you do what you love?
Yeah.
And also love what you do?
Mm-hmm. That was the question you want me to answer now?
Well, no, we're going to do some
Okay.
music.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great question.
No, it's a wonderful question because it's all about balance, and you know, balance doesn't always mean that there is a balance. So you know, it just takes time and patience with yourself. And once again, like you said, it's not all about you. So you have to figure out how that taking care of yourself is taking care of others.
doing all kinds of things that are out of integrity. Yeah. Keep your eyes open. Keep your heart open. Keep your mind open. You gotta know who's guiding you. Gives you a certain kind of compassion when you take the best. If you can take the best of what you learn, like somebody told me, they say, hey, if you had to suffer a loss, just don't forget the lesson. I think His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, told me that. Yeah. So just take the best of what we have learned and give thanks and press on. Take the best of what we have learned. Give thanks and bounce and press and roll on. Ooh, I like that song. Ain't that nice? See, when I got my piano, that's what I was doing. I was just discovering chords and the ways that they would support the lessons that were coming for me to learn at the time. And they were very immature. I mean, no, they were very emotional.
Okay.
Yeah, they were very much about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, when he doesn't have words, when he doesn't want to speak to me, what happens when the words disappear and we can't talk to each other? And I feel like this and go away, just silence, go away, you know, and I'm sure he'll talk to me again. You know, it's like, ugh. It was that kind of world at 21.
But that's also great because I think that when dealing with relationships and God, because they are things that are so that we feel dearly, they encourage you to speak in a way or want to speak in a way that no one else has spoken yet. So it makes you want to, whatever language you are working in, English, it makes you want to find the pretty parts of the English language.
And in my heart, I had such a tender heart, a very inexperienced. You know, it was just an experience. But I don't know what experience looks like. Sometimes we think experience is wisdom,
right?
And that and with experience you'll do the right thing. And sometimes what looks like the right thing to the world might not be the thing that opens you up in the heart so that you could feel what you came to feel this time. You know, that maybe the right thing is not the paycheck with the 6 and the 7 figures. You know, like, you know, you can go on YouTube to look at something, you're going to have 50 million commercials about, I can show you how to make 6 figures in 6 months.
Right.
You buy this course and you're going to get it. It's free. You're going to get free. You're going to get the ebook for free. And then you're going to, you know. But the thing is, it's like, when I was 21, the world just didn't look like it does now.
Yeah.
To me. I mean, it probably were those ambitious tracks and ways that people had of being in the world, but I was kind of taken away from that with getting married between classes. You know, inexperienced. You know, I was inexperienced on steroids, but it was great. I crashed and burned, but I learned so much. You know, and my heart got to express all of these conflicting messages. I mean, it was an exercise in growing and learning to communicate from one's heart as best I could through music. And I had an audience of people around me who loved my songs because the songs were fabulous. But they were, you know, they were what they were because it was like, I just need him to laugh again and to talk to me, and then I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And eventually that became, I need to be needed for who I am. That became, I got to find a way to be needed for what I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm trying to do all these things, and nothing's adding up. So the songs became that.
Progresses that way, and that makes complete sense. Sense because you gain an understanding that what am I worried about somebody else doing X, Y, and Z for? They don't retain whatever's given, so I know what I give out. Who or what is going to receive that?
Well, with your music, at around 21, so you said you were at Pierce. And you decided to go to school for a while, and because it seemed like the thing to do, and you enrolled, but with no real focus of the area, because a lot of kids, a lot of younger people, I'm gonna say kids to me, I'm so old, everybody's a kid, but anyway,
that's not true.
It is, but anyway, the thing is like when you're at school and you just in school, you don't know yet. This is American education. Education in America, you go to college, you don't know what you want to be, so you just take general courses until you kind of find out what it is. Because the idea is like, well, it's better to be there than to be nowhere.
Right. So
you were there, and then what happened?
I told her the story of me taking classes, and it's a little bit better now, but for the most part of my adult life, I haven't been able to sleep well. But for some reason, I found myself sleeping in class, and that's when it was like the moment I decided, okay, I need to just go do music, because this isn't, I'm not getting anything out of it personally, or it's not, at this point in my life, I'm not feeling it, so I should, put forth the energy into this thing that has this hold on me, and I seem to do pretty well, I believe. So yeah, and it got there, and then at that point I was like sneaking into music college, helping other artists get their projects together and figure things out, and yeah, I've just been continuing on.
Did you ever go to music college yourself?
Nope.
You didn't want to go to the Guitar Institute? You already knew all of that.
Yeah, I was already in the point of...
You could have been a teacher there.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Like, as far as, structurally putting the song together and figuring out, nowadays I get called for producing, writing, all the things that fall under that. But the thing that I'm happy I got to the point where people call me when they have things that they can't figure out. Okay, I need a string part for this. Okay, well, once you've done this enough, you pay attention to the people that that you enjoy working with and what they bring to the table, and how can I bring them into things. And okay, I need to put a string section together for this. I'll call this person, and whatever people may need. So it's a pleasure and a big joy.
Well, producers, and for those of you who don't know what a producer is, can you give a nice definition of a producer? For instance, if I'm an artist and I feel like I have a body of work, or I want to do a project, a CD, or a collection of music, an album,
right?
So what part does the producer play?
A producer can play different roles, and depending on the form of music you may be working. If you're working with all live instruments, a producer may be the person that gets all the musicians required for it. They may look at the piece of music and think about what else may not be there, what may be needed, or a producer can put the whole music landscape together. And there's a few other things in there, but that's for the most part.
Yeah. I love producers. I never saw myself as one, and I'm such a producer. But for years, I didn't see myself as a producer. But I was producing all the time.
And that's the fun thing about doing things creatively, because it always forces you, even if you're not, aware of it, you're always getting pulled into other roles and required to do other things. And that's become a big joy of it, because you end up learning something that you had no intentions of adding to your repertoire.
Yeah. And with the project that I did with, the first project that I did with a great producer, John Barnes, he did my In the Land of I Am. He produced it.
Oh, okay.
And that was now I had Howard Johnson produce my first record, And that was back in the 1975. Howard Johnson was a great tuba player.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he produced it, you know, all the solos were tubas. And you know, and I'm in the studio, and this is my first time and everything, and I was like, oh, that's good. And it wasn't until somebody criticized it and said, what are those, and everything's got a tuba solo. And when somebody criticized it, then it wasn't so great, you know, for me, because I wanted everybody to love it. And so when somebody didn't love it, my ego was, you know, I was like, well, why don't they love it? You know, instead of being in the joyful heart where I was. And eventually it would simmer, because I thought it had a chance to be a big hit.
Yeah.
But Natalie Cole's record broke almost the same month. And her cover, she, you know, we looked kind of like her cover. She's like, yeah, she got all this money behind her. She's that King Cole's daughter.
Right.
You know, I was like, that's the way I want my record to be on. So it didn't go so good with my ego. I got a bruise, and that was really great, because that was part of my journey.
And that's one thing that it takes. It takes for something to hit you in the head sometimes and be like, oh, like, and there's people who believe that who come from the perspective that they do music or anything creatively simply for themselves. And I understand that. Like, through my journey, I've come to understand that this isn't about me. So I need to figure out how I can make this, unless it's something that I'm saying, I don't care about people specifically for me to get whatever emotionally or whatever the case may be out into the universe. But for the most part, it's how can I make this so we all want to understand it, or we all don't even think about it and we just start tapping our feet, you know? And that's been a big part of the journey, and part that I enjoy, because it requires me not to, you know, to get outside of myself and be like, okay, if I'm doing a record for someone and it's a style of music that I don't even listen to, that's still a pleasure for me, because I'm challenging myself into understanding other people's world.
Yeah. Well, I think when I became a choir director, everything shifted, because all of my talents were used. Everything was needed. Yeah. And I was my own boss. Like, nobody could tell me what to do. Right. I could try all the ideas, and it was just a perfect place to arrive, having come through so many scenarios of wanting to have one's music accepted, right? Wanting to have a record deal, wanting to have a big deal so I could get my mom a house, you know, wanting, you know, that, so by the time I turned 37, it was a telling year. You know, I had gone through a lot, and you know, and then the universe said, or God, the spirit, because God is more than the universe. Yeah. God created the universe. But the universe for me is the way it goes. It's the way it goes. Yeah. We got to do that song. Learn how it goes around. Yeah. How it turns. You want to do that? We should do that.
Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, we should do it. You gonna produce it? Okay. Producing means that he's gonna hook it up. You know, he's gonna hook it up. I'm gonna go back to John Barnes in just a minute. But it was like, anyway, I'll go back to John Barnes right now, because we were talking about producing. When I met John Barnes, he did something that no one else had done. He took his capacity, his ability, his idea of what my music could sound like. And he heard me say what I wanted it to be. I said, I want a record that sounds global. You know, I just don't want a local sounding record. I feel like the record I had before that one was I Found a Deeper Love. I said, it sounds like a local record. It didn't. It was an intimate, very intimate, in your heart record, you know. But I wanted something that was more expansive for my next project, just a different sound. Now, when I want to go to sleep, and right before I go into meditation, I'll listen to something from I Found a Deeper Love, and it would go like, takes me there, right? You know. But in the land of I Am, it does something else. It can take you there too. It just does it in another way, you know. And when he came with his sounds and music, I was like, I remember this was so funny. And this is a great producer, right? When he played the first tracks, I think one of the first tracks he played about 6 that he had been working on. And I'm listening to the tracks and I'm going. I was like, I don't hear nothing that sounds like me in there. And he was like, oh! He just laughed so hard. He covered his mouth. He said, oh. He said, well, I'm not done yet. I'm not finished. I'm just letting you hear the skeletal of what it goes like. And I was like, oh, okay. But because I'm thinking like I done gave you a lot of money, and I don't like the way this sounded right now. This is like, hey, you better come up with something, And he said, oh, and I've never spoken to anybody like that. But it was just so honest. Because when I heard everything, and it was like, and because he was giving it was like ding, 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 arrangements. He was giving it arrangements. Yeah. Nobody really arranged my music. Yeah. Except Ronald Muldrow, but the music that he had arranged, nobody ever heard. Except for She Can't Love You, Shamice. Yeah. And that was his dance record. But he could really arrange like Charles Stepney. He was a great arranger.
So what was it like? Was it hearing it move?
Like the feeling, I was used to the intimate sound. And this is like, life is like that. It's like you're used to a certain zone, and life is like, hey, it's time to change. It's time to do something different. It's time to let go of what was familiar and go to something that's going to be better for you.
Absolutely.
If you got the courage to go for it.
That's part of the job. Like, I'm going to bring you into this thing. It might be new for you, but you came over here, so I hope you trust that I'm not gonna put you in, in a place where you're not gonna be satisfied or it's not gonna do anything positive.
I was praying, and so he was like, it's gonna be better. So when I came the next time, he had more, and he was doing all the sounds. He had musicians that would come in and play different things, but he used the synclavier.
No, okay.
That was his thing, and he was a master at it. John Barnes was a genius, man. I could not have fallen into better hands. It was a divine connection. And well, everything I touched, even the marriage between classes was divine. Everything worked out. When you roll in with God, it's gonna go right. Because eventually we're gonna learn what we came to learn. That's what I feel.
Well, yeah.
Even if it feels bad, even if you die this incarnation, you're still gonna get to what it is that you came to learn in this field. Right. I just invite people to not give up and not be afraid, and to allow the music and the message and the Holy Word to support you in what it is we're doing.
Absolutely.
You don't have to do it alone. We have to spend time alone. Yeah. But we can have friends.
Absolutely, because there's nothing that anybody's going through that's new. So there's always someone not too far away that whether it's either talking about it or being silent or just coming to praise together. You guys are still acknowledging that you're not alone in this.
Well, and I think that's the magic. Also, that's an element of magic. In the studio, when you're working in the studio in the old days, because now the studio is just you and your, sometimes, but sometimes you have the opportunity to be in the studio with other people, and you have other conversations, and we're listening to each other's stories. And I'm gonna tell you, if you've never been in the studio with musicians, or in the green room with musicians, or around musicians, you're missing it. Because, man, they are funny. Musicians are hilarious.
Yes, they are.
And strong. And some of them just know everything. That's what I felt like by Al McKay. I said, you Aquarius, y'all know everything. I had the 3 biggest headed Aquarius, Al McKay, Ben Dowling, but not Rob McDonald. Rob was always that guy. He was always the person,
How you doing, Rob?
Yeah, but I tell you what, they all wanted to play the music. And that was beautiful. And John Barnes did too. And now when I hear those songs that he produced, I go like, oh,
Yeah.
how beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how beautiful. That was in the land of I am.
It's interesting how you said you heard, like, on that record, you heard him how you heard the last record. Because that's always my job. Like, if I hear, like, of course I have to listen to someone before I do something for them. So I like to get acquainted with their catalog, and if there's like a reoccurring theme almost to the music that they make, it's like, okay, how can I branch them out of this but still keeps them in the world that they've already built? And that's always the fun challenge in it.
Man, we ought to do a record. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, look. He is part of a group called Little Black Kids, and it's him in Georgia. And they're bad. They're bad. They bad. They should have called Little Bad Black Kids. But they're beautiful, and I love that. One of my favorite ones is, ain't no utopia nowhere.
That's what, yeah.
How that goes? Like, I got to hold this. I got to hold this moment close. Ain't no utopia nowhere. It's just the blue skies we share, and just the brownish earth we share. Something like that. I got to hold this moment close. Ain't no utopia nowhere. What's the next one? What's up there? There'll be, and just the brownish earth that we share. I got to hold this moment close. Ain't no utopia nowhere. It's just the blue skies there'll be, and just the brownish earth that we share. I got to hold this moment close. Ain't no utopia nowhere. It's just the blue skies there'll be, and just the brownish earth we share. Got to hold this moment close. Ain't no utopia nowhere. It's just the brownish earth, blue skies there'll be, and just the brownish earth that we share. I love this song. Who hold this moment close? There's no utopia nowhere. It's just the blue skies that there'll be, and just the brownish earth that we share. Yeah, see, that's a dance song. You can just, right?
Yeah.
I love that. And then there's a rap on that.
We do a big mixture of things. It's an honor to be able to work so closely with Georgia. She's an incredible human being overall, and as are you. Thank both of you guys. It's been a blessing to be able to make music on a regular basis with the both of you guys.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure to be around you two.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you one of my favorite guitar players, because your rhythm guitar is killer.
Thank you.
You play like you come from the South, because you do. It's just you got that brownish earth in your playing, and for somebody so young, and you can hear the influence of your mentors.
Thank you. I'm once again, it's beyond a blessing to be able to it couldn't, like, the way that this is set up is just,
It couldn't be better.
yeah, it's unfathomable. Like, I remember the first time I came here, after I think I played.
Oh, here?
Yeah, and I played the first gig with Georgia, and it was her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I met you in the dining room, and we spoke, and you told me that Al had played with you, and I was like, I was just blown away because I never heard of Agape. So until I met you guys, but then everybody around me since I've been here has heard of your music and had attended a service at Agape. So I was like, oh, I just really missed out on a whole thing. So
yeah, you get it a different way.
Oh, and I'm blessed. Like, even, initially playing with you at Hot and Cool, it was new for me because, like I told you before, my grandmother always wanted me to play in a church, and when she asked me if I would play with you, I was like, yeah, of course, why not? And been here ever since.
Yeah, I was thankful.
It's
I was
been a
like,
joy.
And I had seen you in The Righteous.
Right.
That's the band you were with, The Righteous.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia had a band called The Righteous. And man, they were fabulous when you guys were outside at that festival, the LA Philharmonic 100th anniversary.
And everyone was riding bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Georgia was flying across the floor on her knees with her hands up. I was like, oh my God, where'd she learn how to do that? And she got on knee pads. How can she slide like that?
Right.
And the whole band stopped. It was phenomenal. And I was like, ooh, he can play guitar real good. We need a guitar player.
You guys are both funny because I only met her the night before and rehearsed.
Wow.
Yeah, so and that's kind of what it was. I believe when I got asked to play with you, I just showed up and we just played songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very grateful for it being put in me that I like whatever it is that I do will find its space.
Well, you surely have found your space in our hearts. A lot of people love you. A lot of people missed you at the revival. They're going like, BabyMan didn't come.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking. No, everybody, it's like the B-Hood is very powerful. So, Jamon.
Yes.
And so, I know this is our first time with the live session, but do we have people on?
Oh, my goodness, you do have people on. I mean, let me just go down a little list for you. And we thanked everybody already in the chat, so we just going to give y'all a little shout out.
And any comments that they wanted to, you can read.
Yeah, so Marion Lewis says hello.
Marion.
Hello, Ricky and Keith. And Susan, our great Sue Lingo, said, ooh-wee, going to be a smoking one tonight. She's acknowledging you, BabyMan. Terry Dean was on. She says hi. Also, Susan said, it feels a little different, Much love, B-Hood fam, came from Reese. And Chef Lori was on, and she says good evening. So Maxine was on as well. We also had, who is this? Scott Haig was on. Rocket Ricky is what he said. With some, he had a little Rocket Ricky on there for you, and a lot of love emojis there. And also over here on the Facebook side, so yeah, a good crowd of people here tonight. We doing well. John Lavoy, Kathy Obaro, Estella Thompson from Asheville.
Ooh,
all the way. We have Aloha that came from John. And we have Keith Finlayson was on as well and says good evening to both of you guys. Yeah. We thank everybody for getting
everybody
on.
came in. It was
Yeah.
it's a little bit different in that we can't see the comments flying like Sue does it, but Sue will be back next week.
And let's not forget Ann Combs and
Hey,
was that
Ann?
Janice Morrell?
Yeah,
Janice was on as also.
They were at the revival.
So yeah, everybody was in the house tonight. So we appreciate y'all.
Hey, and we appreciate you, Jamon. Thank you so very much. Rickie Byars is our producer for our program tonight, and I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And I said we were going to go an hour and some change. Well, this is the some change part. So I'm going to give the cards. This is a deck of cards that was created by Reverend Harriet G. Walden. And Reverend Walden is a master virtues facilitator with over 30 years of experience. She walks in faith and purpose and is a community healer, and she's a tough sister, And I hope you show up at my concert up in Unity of Bellevue, Reverend Harriet. I know you're going to be there. So, in a little, very short period of time, I'm going to be in up in the Washington, the state of Washington, at Unity of Bellevue in Bellevue, Washington. And the next week I'll be in Lexington, Kentucky, at Unity of Louisville, not Lexington, Louisville. I'll be in Louisville, Kentucky, at Unity of Louisville. My first trip to Louisville, the home of the champ, Muhammad Ali. I'm telling you. Young people don't know who I'm talking about. but I got Reverend Harry's deck, so I want Keith to pull a card. Okay. Da-da-da-da, drum roll. Okay.
Ooh, I took a bunch of cards. I'm sorry.
No, you took one. The one on top. Okay, that's the one you got.
You want me to read?
And then, yeah, and there's an affirmation on the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace. Peace embodies love, understanding, and a conscious intent to spread harmony. Beyond conflicts, absence, it's empathetic comprehension. A serene consciousness carried everywhere, radiating calm, love, and understanding. It's an inner commitment shaping interactions. Affirmation. I nurture a consciousness of peace within sharing calm, love, and understanding wherever I go.
That's beautiful. Yeah, you know, there's a joke. Not a joke, but there's a story about the 23rd Psalm and about this real young minister that was coming in there. He could speak. He was charismatic. He was extraordinary. And they gave him the 23rd Psalm to read, and he read the 23rd Psalm, and it was, "The Lord is my shepherd." He read it, and so when he finished, because there was a misprint on the program, the older minister got up, and they had him reading the 23rd Psalm as well. So he just went up and read it too. Like after the younger guy had read it, he came up and he read the 23rd Psalm. And when he was done, everybody was crying. And the younger minister, the one that was ambitious and getting ready for the new job, he was like, at the end of it, he was messed up about that. He was like, and folks were crying and gave him a standing ovation. So he was like, what happened? The ambitious one, he talked to the older man. He said, we read the same thing. And he said, you know the song. I know the shepherd. I know the shepherd. So read it one more time like you know the shepherd. Take your time. Okay.
Which one you want me to read about the whole
Same
thing?
one, yeah.
Okay. Peace. Peace embodies love, understanding, and a conscious intent to spread harmony. Beyond conflicts, absence, is empathetic comprehension. A serene consciousness carried everywhere, radiating calm, love, and understanding. It's an inner commitment shaping interactions.
An inner commitment shaping interactions. Now turn on the back for the affirmation.
I nurture a consciousness of peace within, sharing calm, love, and understanding wherever I go.
Hey, better. Thank you, Keith. Let's do a little bit of this one. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, 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 Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving. Peace inside my mind. us tonight. Thank you. You know, lots going on in the world. I can talk about all of it because I can talk. I can talk. And I have protested and demonstrated, and I've done a lot of things. And right now, God is telling me to sing these songs of joy, to sing the songs that inspire people, to sing the songs that would encourage us to love more, because love is the answer, and love takes us higher. Blessing the students, the protesters, blessing everybody. Blessing everybody. I know there's another way. There's a higher way. And my life is about living that way. That's what I got to give you. It's love. That's what I got. A loving song, a loving way, a loving message. Thank you, God. Thank you so much. This is a good life, and we rejoice in it. And we will do our best. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest